you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel.
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
But yeah, that's where we're at. But OU, obviously, look, Jalen Hurts yesterday said a lot of really good things. And again, you see the maturity. And I talked about it in the first hour when we played some of the other cuts. It's just, obviously, this is a guy who has been in the fire. He's been in some big fires. He's been in some fires at a Tuesday practice based on the roster that Alabama has. So, as again, I know it's not announced he's the starter. We all assume he is. You know, we can argue. I think Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray are better football players than Jalen Hurts. But Jalen Hurts might be the guy that just who he is and what he has, his leadership, could be what OU needs with good timing to kind of get them over that semifinal hump.
Can I raise a little hell? Can I
sure,
do that real quick?
Yeah.
I get being excited about Jalen Hurts, and you
Sure.
should be, right? He brings a pedigree to Oklahoma that you haven't had at the quarterback position or any position since Heupel, right? He's got the ring. Like, it's him, it's Brian Odom, it's Cale Gundy, right? That's it.
Yeah.
But outside of that, Austin Kendall was a good quarterback. You know, that's what this proves to me, because I'm listening, I'm watching film, and we're talking about what he went up against at Alabama. We're talking about the kind of pedigree he had at Alabama. Put Austin Kendall over there at Alabama. Is there a wacky reality where you got the grad transfer in Austin Kendall, right? Where okay. Let's say Austin Kendall ended up at Alabama the way that Jalen Hurts ended up at Alabama? Sure. Is that too? This is going to go one way or the other. It's going to go really great, and he gets Oklahoma over the hump, and he wins the semifinal game, or it's going to go really bad, and folks from Alabama are going to be like, no, Jalen was fine. You broke him. And we're like, I mean, I'm just, you know, like that's what we have right now, and we didn't get much out of the presser yesterday. I mean, that dude's been listening to a lot of Nick Saban. I mean, that was the other part that came across. He's very poised. We understand that. He carries himself in the right way, and we all enjoyed that. But I was waiting on him to tell a joke, and I'm not going to get that from Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, there's some roboticism to it. Here's my only thing about Austin Kendall, because I was with you. I liked Austin Kendall. I never did buy into the old him and Kyler Murray are real close, but I figured this is the next guy in line. I think he has the skill set. Lincoln Riley recruited this guy. He has the skills that Lincoln Riley covets in his offense. But I'm a bit turned off by the lead. You know what I mean?
Right.
That he didn't battle for it. That turns me off a little bit.
Right, and I think that's where a lot of people come down on it, and that's why you get so much support from Jalen Hurts, is like he, quote-unquote, battled for it with Tua Tagovailoa, and then he graduated, and everybody wished him well. I mean, they had a tribute video for him in Alabama, and that's not what's going to happen for Austin Kendall, because he didn't what? Because he didn't do what Jalen Hurts basically did last year? I mean, if you call it, facts on the ground are they both graduated. They both graduated. They both weren't going to get the job. One guy transferred, one guy transferred. But somehow the narrative is Jalen Hurts is great and Austin Kendall is not. And you're saying that turned you off. And I'm saying, okay, it turned you off. Why? Because he did what Jalen Hurts did. He wasn't going to win the job. He lost. So he transferred.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, are we being hypocritical sports fans here? Because I don't like hypocrites.
No, I mean, I just feel like I thought Austin Kendall was going to get the job, and then obviously Jalen Hurts isn't coming if he doesn't feel like he's getting it. But I wonder this: if Austin Kendall is staying, does Jalen Hurts still come?
Yes.
I mean,
that's the question, right? That's the question. And we don't know which domino fell first, right? And that's why everybody wants to know, how did this actually go down? We all knew it was going down, but how it actually goes down, you know, he visited Miami, you know he visited Maryland, you know he visited Norman, you know he picked Oklahoma.
Sure.
But when Austin Kendall finds out, it's basically probably when he puts his name into the transfer portal, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm really interested to see how we continue to talk about Jalen Hurts versus Austin Kendall versus Tua Tagovailoa versus Kyler Murray into 2019.
Yeah. RJ Young, OUinsider.com, joining us. And again, we'll never know the answer to that question. It would be nice. But, you know, again, Austin Kendall might have had a chance. Look, what did you think of the other quarterbacks, the two Tanners? That sounds like an 80s TV show, My Two Tanners. Schaefer.
Poor Tanner Schaefer, one.
Yeah.
Poor Tanner Schaefer.
and Mordecai.
Well, no, but so, like, listen, if you listen to what Tanner had to say, Mordecai, if you had to listen to what Mordecai had to say, there's a couple things in there. One, I think he thinks he's competing for the job, which is good, right?
Yeah.
I think he thinks he's here to win it. And I don't think he's has any illusions about what's going on either. But I think he's preparing to win it. And if he doesn't win it, I think he knows if something happens to Jalen Hurts, he's going in, right? And then you have the whole Kevin Murray aspect of it, because people forget Kevin Murray was Tanner Mordecai's quarterback coach, and he was his quarterback coach when he got to campus last year. And apparently they still talk, right? So, I mean, there's some good things going on for Tanner Mordecai in this. Schaefer, it is what it is. We know that. But this is going to get really interesting when you're in garbage time. Are you going to throw Tanner Mordecai out there? Are you going to try to get Spencer Rattler some live looks in a real college football game environment at Owen Field? And we're all going to draw conclusions from that. But I thought that the way that Tanner Mordecai spoke about the job, the way he spoke about backing up Kyler, the way he spoke about Jalen Hurts coming in, you got to feel good about that guy, in the way that you would hope to feel good about a guy who's going to win the job, right?
Yeah, maybe in a couple of years he'll transfer too.
See that? There you go.
No, and look, I'm not, and maybe that is one thing things came across. I'm not against the guy transferring if he feels there's something better somewhere else. But and look, you're Tanner Mordecai, you got Jalen Hurts, and then all of a sudden you're going to have a Spencer Rattler to contend with. The going might get tough here, so we'll see if he gets going or he gets going. What else we got from? No, that was the big thing yesterday. Obviously, the quarterbacks.
Well, there's also this thing about Alex Grinch talking about them being thin, right? On the defensive side of the ball, particularly in the secondary. He just does not have as many bodies back there as he wants to have. Now, we know that Jordan Parker's out, Robert Barnes is out. You know that. Buki's out, right? They're not going through spring ball. And you're going to get some reinforcements. But I'm wondering if this is being overblown by those of us that are, not watching practice because practice is not open. It's one of those things where you're going, wait a second, what do you mean thin? And I think it's just he wants to have a full defense in the worst way. Because I get a sneaking suspicion that they're getting tired, right? Because they're doing all this effort running. And I wanted to speak to it just for a little bit and say, hey, I don't think that's actually the big deal that a lot of people are making it out to be. I think you're going to be thin during spring ball. I think that's the nature of spring ball. Now, if he's saying this in preseason camp in August, then it's a 3-alarm fire, and then you want to know what's going on. Yeah.
You spoke with or you interviewed Antoine Powell, the 2020 defensive end. I think he's coming up for the spring game. But again, this is a guy. It's interesting. Look, I get he's a high school junior right now, so he's going to be a little bit smaller, 6'3", 223. Maybe a stand-up 3-4 outside backer, maybe a defensive end, but nonetheless, a guy who fits the Speed D, #Speed D, that Alex Grinch keeps talking about.
Well, and with that size, I mean, the last guy that we remember that was that good at Oklahoma with that size, Eric Stryker, right? Mm-hmm. And all he did was pass rush, right? He just came off the edge. And to watch Powell's huddle film, it's highlights, but they're not putting a hand on him. He's just going by him. And he's going by him at that size. And if he's 6'3", 223 as a junior, there's no reason to believe he can't arrive to campus around 235, 240. And then he gets in Bennie Wiley's weight room, and all of a sudden we're talking about him being around 245, 250.
Yeah.
And you can do what you want to do. But I think what you saw there is the speed, just the raw ability to get off the ball. And that was the thing that was eye-popping to me. And I think, he's going to move up in the rankings as we continue to talk about him because his offer list is exploding since February. We're talking about Michigan, Va Tech, East Carolina, UNC, Maryland, Oklahoma. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I think he visited your boys at Michigan a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. No, good stuff. Again, and there's just a lot of development. And it's like I said, you look at that guy and you say, man, 6'3", 223, and it is hey, we project this guy, like you said, be 250, 260, maintain that speed. And again, just I think that's one of the underlying things of the spring game. Maybe the most interesting thing of the spring game, I should say, is what does the new scheme look like? How does the attack look like defensively? I think that's maybe what fans should be most excited about. Everyone's going to look at Jalen Hurts, and I get that, but how the defense plays out, scheme-wise, you can start to build some things there will be very intriguing as well.
Absolutely, and that's what I want to see most. I know what Jalen Hurts is. I've seen him, right?
Yeah.
You know what the offense is. You've seen it. You want to see the 5-star wide receivers, of course. But I want to see the scheme as much as anybody else. I want to see what it looks like. I want to see who's lining up where. I want to see how much faster the defensive line is after losing all this weight.
Excellent stuff as always, man. Appreciate it. Maybe watch some baseball today. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I'm going to get after it. Thanks, Patrick.
Yeah, and there's lots of hoops tonight, lots of basketball tonight. So you got that to look forward to as well. Thanks, man.
All right, brother.
Yeah, Fight Me coming up on Sunday morning, 10 o'clock. RJ Young, check that out. Let's hit a break. We'll come back. We'll chat with Robert Vann of Revenge of the Birds.